I must say, this peculiar evolution of Pep Guardiola has blown my fragile little mind from the most sort of philosophical, dogmatic, influential coach that wanted small, diminutive midfielders all over the pitch, including in goal and up top. Maybe at least a goalkeeper who can play like a diminutive ball-playing midfielder. He'd play with false nines, with like Cesc Fabregas and Lionel Messi and other small players, and that was his like big influential way of playing for so many years from Barcelona and indeed early iterations of Man City. But we've come so far. It's 1-1 at the Emirates. It's just finished between Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta, and mate, freaking Guardiola was moving like prime Neil Warnock, I don't know, Stoke before they became Stoke Alona. It's crazy because, like I said, he's gone from this wanting a team of small, diminutive ball players to just wanting a team of big boys. When they won the treble, he'd already been playing like four centre-backs along the back with, Erling Haaland up top, but he still had his ball-playing goalkeeper. Before I get into how he sort of decided to navigate this match between Arsenal and City, I just want to talk about the goalkeeper as well, because this personifies the crazy shift in the philosophy of Guardiola. I did a video on my main channel, Football Therapy, today, talking about managers often not changing, and I thought, like, even like top level managers, like they'll make slight tweaks and stuff, but you have certain like philosophical managers that play in a dogmatic way. They've got their ideals, the way football should be played. And I referenced Guardiola in that video when I was speaking about Maresca and Chelsea and stuff, covering Chelsea. But this game really highlighted that Guardiola is the most unlikely guy to do it, but it looks like he's completely flipped the script, because he's not only just gone with a big man up top now and four centre-backs along the back, and to be fair, he's going back to conventional fullbacks now, but he's gone for the big boy in goal. Gianluigi Donnarumma is not synonymous with being a good ball-playing goalkeeper. That was Pep's priority before. Yeah, you can save shots maybe if you want, but you need to be able to play like a midfielder and step up. Of course, he enjoyed Edison for many years, who could do both. But it's almost like he sacked off the ball-playing ability from the goalkeeper and to just go long. The big man in goal will go long to the big man up top. English football heritage. And this is not just from a random, like, Chelsea, Liverpool, United, Man City manager. This is from Pep Guardiola. And it just made me laugh. And considering the way he navigated this game, so Erling Haaland scored what can only be described as an excellent goal in the 9th minute. The way he worked the ball, got it back and ran in on the counter-attack and lashed it home. Tell you what, when that big Nordic Viking's running at you full throttle, you must be scared. That's the thing, they got a big scary boy at the top and at the bottom of the pitch. And scored a great goal, yeah. Scored a great, proper individual centre-forwards goal. And then literally, they kind of try and defend it for the whole game, basically. It ends up being like, I don't know, 99 minutes, 98 minutes or something. It is a low value chances in this game. Like, there was only 0.96 XG for Arsenal and 0.89 for Man City in the entire match. So despite having loads of immense quality footballers on the pitch, it was about rigid systems and defensive resoluteness. And City defended really, really well. He obviously is respecting this game massively, Guardiola. I'm just looking at SofaScore now as I talk to you. It's Raya in goal for Arsenal, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel and Calafiori. Marino, Zubamende and Declan Rice in the midfield, and a front three of Noni, Madueke, Gyökeres and Trossard. It's absolutely the two lowest ranked players on SofaScore by some distance are Gyökeres and Noni Madueke. I thought Madueke looked pretty lively. I think he's yet to score or assist for Arsenal, but he does look like he's, adding offensive value to the attack. But Gyökeres, 5.9 rating, only 8 passes completed, didn't try to dribble but failed, contested for 3 ground duels, lost all of them, and lost possession 13 times. So yeah, a pretty stinky game from Victor Gyökeres. But to be honest, just quickly on him, I heard someone speaking about this, and they reiterated what I said. You sign Gyökeres not to win this game. You've got players that win this game. You know, Martinelli came off and scored a great goal, but then usually you get these 1-0 wins. It will be a Declan Rice set piece, you know, a corner kick, or it'll be a Saka won the goal cutting in. But what Arsenal lacked last season was a flat track bully to score against the smaller teams. And Gyökeres, from his time at Sporting, like the vast majority of his goals all came from, as in like 95% of his goals came from the teams in the bottom half of the Portuguese league while he's playing for a superpower in the Portuguese league. So he was a flat track bully in the Liga NOS, or whatever you call it, the Portuguese league. But that's kind of what Arsenal needed. Because they're the games they were struggling against, so there's sort of lesser opposition where they weren't getting the goals. And seemingly Gyökeres has done that so far. So, yeah, it doesn't really matter. I'm not, you know, we'll see when we've got a bigger sample size, but he kind of can be fine. It can get away with it, really. But yeah, he's got by far the lowest rating on the pitch, Gyökeres, from any player that featured out of both teams. So Pep Guardiola played a 4-1-4-1. Doku, Reinders, Silva, and Foden behind Haaland, and Rodri at the base of midfield, Nico O'Reilly, who's been excellent, the young man at left back, Gvardiol, Diaz, and Kusanov in front of Donnarumma. Loads of attacking signings, apart from Mosquera, from Arsenal. Saka, Eze, Martinelli, and Nwaneri. Hugely offensive changes from the Arsenal manager. And, yeah, and loads of defensive ones from Guardiola. For example, I mean, Savinho for Doku's sort of fine, but John Stones for Nico O'Reilly, a centre-back for like a full-back, that's a really defensive change. Nathan Ake for Phil Foden to go to a back five, made me laugh. And then what made me laugh even more, after that, he takes off Erling Haaland, and you think, all right, well, Haaland might be a bit gassed out. Like, he's a big boy, does a lot of running, and they've played a lot of games recently. But he brings on Nico Gonzalez, a central defensive midfielder for a striker. So he goes full agricultural Brexit ball with loads of big boys, loads of defenders, defender 1-0, take the 3 points home, mate. And this is Guardiola's Man City super team. It's just so funny. I mean, I love it. I freaking love it, because it's just... The narrative switch up is crazy. And it was it's just so many layers, because it was like, this was what Arteta did. Arteta played with all the defensive players and just still does to a degree, but goes for set pieces, you know, real pragmatism. But it's almost like Pep rocked up and said, I'm going to pragmatise. I'm going to do more pragmatism than the pragmatists here, if that makes sense. But they do get the goal back. Martinelli for the second game in a row, coming off the bench scoring. A great goal. You have to say, lovely touch. It's almost like he comes off the bench and just, it's like what he's falling into that really unfortunate space of, oh, you're an amazing sub. I'm going to change that because you keep coming on and doing the business. I don't want to like break this juju. So he ends up being a super sub, which players often hate, but managers, you know, want to keep them doing that, essentially. I'd say the biggest winner in this game is Liverpool Football Club, because probably the two biggest contenders, I never sort of bought into this Chelsea stuff, and of course 2 wins out of 5 games at the beginning of the season. Chelsea have got their own issues, but the two biggest contenders were Man City. Even with Man City's like turbulent start, it was them behind Arsenal. And them drawing, Liverpool with their 100% record will be thinking, thank you very much. And they're the biggest winners here. But it just made me laugh, man, because it was entertaining, not as a football match and as a spectacle, but just for like the narrative. Like, what's happened to Guardiola, and when did he become, you know, Neil Warnock or whatever? Look, mate, I've got no issue with how anyone plays football, provided you get wins. Do you know what I mean? It's like Mourinho once said, when talking about Arsenal having more possession, he's like, well, they can take the ball home with them. I'll take the 3 points. Love that. There's many ways to win a football match, as it were. And yeah, it's a draw. To be honest, it's a bet. I think both managers will walk away thinking, because Guardiola will see, you know, his 2 hardest away matches this season will be the Emirates and Anfield, and he's not lost at one of them. I don't think they've played. Have they played at Anfield? Anyway, point being, that's one of the 2, and a draw there is better for the away side than the home side in that context. So he'll be like, fair enough, I'll take it. It's a stoppage time equaliser, so Arteta will be like, fair enough, I'll take it. They had a nice little handshake and hug at the end, but that's because of the sort of rare instances in there. Everyone can sort of feel it's so peculiar to watch a back five low block encounter from Man City, like taking off strikers for central defensive midfielders trying to defend a 1-goal lead against a side in Arsenal that aren't synonymous with, like, if it was Liverpool, I'd understand it a little bit more, but Arsenal still do rely on the set pieces. Anyway, it really, really fascinating, and I wanted to talk about it. So, guys, let me know what you think. Comment down below. I try and upload on Football Yannick every day, so do consider liking and subscribing and dropping those hype points down here. Swipe and hype, I believe. Anyway, see you soon. Peace.